Obvious cheater fakes blindfolded Super Mario 64 speedrun. I love cheating. I love this kind of shit. Let's see. I have not heard of this before.
Despite the immense popularity of Super
Jesus,
Mario
what is that? A
64
fucking
speedrun,
soiled
there is
diaper on his
comparatively
face?
Small amount of people running the blindfolded categories, a testament to how difficult.
Or like a heating pad?
Really is. I have here a video of one of these runs, and I aim to show some of the clear discrepancies between this run and the genuine blindfolded runs of SM64 that are out there. The best time on a run he has currently submitted is an 1826.
Ew.
Relatively mid-level time for 16-star. The first
Pathetic.
thing that actually put me off when I was watching this, or punching.
I honestly thought this guy was the cheater because this thing looks so over the top. Straight up just looked like, it looks like Among Us. Like, this shit is crazy. I thought that this was some kind of elaborate scam, but I'm guessing this is a legitimate runner. What is he wearing? Can someone, like, it's not a blindfold. This is like a whole goddamn, like, face sauna thing. Some, like, actual Daft Punk shit. It's a towel? How's that a towel? It's like karate safety gear that SpongeBob wore. Hats off to him though, like this, it looks fucking crazy. Like this is hardcore.
Looking at a legitimate example by Bubzia, you can see that a consistent setup with clear intention is being used in order to get onto the Chain Chomp's pole. Note the use of a notched angle.
Turns out everyone's cheating. They're all just trying to pretend the best they can.
Comparatively, this runner seemed to have absolutely no normalized setup whatsoever. He takes what looks like either an intentional death or a legitimate mistake, and then tries again a second time. This time around, he seems to be using an almost completely different, yet still unnormalized setup to get onto the pole. With how much focus and skill are required to complete a blindfolded run, it's an anomaly that this runner with barely any practice is so casually able to do a strat that no other blindfolded runner has attempted.
Well, he's
And
just
yet
the
with
god
absolutely
gamer.
No normalized strats, he seems to do everything with some relative ease. In the next star, he goes for the traditional cannon
Please
setup
resub some
that you would
random
normally
guy.
see in most sighted runs. Once again, looking at a blindfolded version of this strat, there is a clear intention with every input using normalized movements and guaranteed setups. Looking back
God,
at
the
this
blindfolded run is
the movement
crazy.
across the falling bridge and over to the piranha plant is extremely wobbly and very inconsistent. He then lines up next to the plank using these extremely small adjustments that have no audio cues whatsoever. Anyone that runs this game or has even tried this trick before knows that it's
Yeah, this is super fake.
the
Oh my
only possible
god.
way anyone could do it
He didn't even
blindfolded,
try.
The movement used here would be if they weren't actually blindfolded at all, and were instead using a distinctly visual cue. Here, only a true gamer such as this man would be able to somehow sidestep this Goomba, quickly make his way up the path, and then do this long jump to the next red, all completely blindfolded and with absolutely no setup necessary. Simply amazing.
What was the point though? Like, surely he didn't think that.
He then pushes a Goomba that he claims he heard, even though there is no good
He smelt
way of
it.
gauging distance that precise with sound cues.
No, he's got a super sniffer. He's like Scooby-Doo.
Faster and safer to just keep walking forward anyway.
There's no way he'd think that he'd
Notice
fool the
then
whole
the
community
small
that
adjustment he
actively
makes in
runs
order to
this
be
game
lined up
though,
with the final
blindfolded.
slope. Anyone who is actually blindfolded here would have almost certainly
what's the
kept
point?
holding right with no adjustment. Moving on to basement, we see another series of extremely suspicious and inconsistent setups. In Shifting Sandland, he is somehow able to get the Talon Star using a strategy only viable for visual runs. The
Until
amount of adjustment
now.
needed to long jump to the Fly Guy and twirl over to Klepto is simply too precise to be done consistently in a blindfolded run.
More like to be done at all.
He's able to do it first try with no issues. The last half of this run is so blatantly fake that it makes the previous 20 minutes
thank you,
look
Bryce.
completely legit by comparison.
And... Yes! Oh, come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's
Now
fucking
to this
go.
point. In my opinion, there is absolutely no way he can know how close or far away he is from the door because he is using literally no sight.
No,
The
he's
exact same is true for
he's
his
smelling the
completely
game,
finished
baby.
door. Once again, with absolutely no discernible audio cues and no real setup whatsoever, he somehow either knows exactly where he is on the door, or just gets lucky enough to clip through it after randomly guessing. He spends around 30 seconds here walking back and forth along the door, and somehow is able to find the exact right spot to make it through. Somehow it still gets worse after this. At this point,
I'm actually convinced that he's doing it for real. He is blindfolded.
Should look like. It really
I think
looks
I'm
like
just
he's
seeing an
given
ultimate
up on
gamer.
trying to sell the illusion any further.
I slid off something. Fuck, am I at the submarine? Yes, okay.
The fact that he even says this is strange to me. There's literally nothing else in this level
Overacting a little bit.
besides the sub. So it doesn't
Fuck,
really
am I
make any
playing
sense
Super
to
Mario?
act as if he had to figure out what he was
Jesus,
following.
okay, well, this is good
He
for
needed
us.
to make it look like he had. Despite this, he is somehow able to
Oh.
leap back around at the perfect angle and lands back on the fin.
It's his gamer
Once again, with
senses.
absolutely zero sound cues or any setup. Nothing suspicious to see here. And then there's Fire Sea.
Well, this has always just been an easy level, though. I could do this blindfold, and I haven't played this game in 8
Right.
years now.
So after some
It's
more
easy.
fake strats in Fire Sea,
That's some pussy
one
shit.
fake Bowser throw setup, he then commits what is possibly the most obvious and completely shameless move in the entire run.
I don't know how he tops some of the other shit, to be honest.
Fuck, I didn't get that extra life.
I was laughing my ass off when I first saw this. Not only does he somehow know exactly
What a
where the
man!
box is, but he also knows exactly what direction the 1-up will go in once it spawns, something completely determined by RNG. Then, after chasing it on a moving platform for a completely arbitrary amount of time,
I'm sure there's a reasonable
someone knows
explanation.
exactly when and where to jump to the left. You don't even need to know anything about Super Mario 64 or blindfolded speedrunning to understand that what just happened is completely bullshit. Immediately after skipping the first 1-up, he messes around on the first rotating elevator, grabbing the next 1-up in the process.
Yes, okay.
All clearly...
His acting's not even good, though. Like, why not
After
really
this,
sell
He
it?
once again makes an intentional mistake.
Like, oh my fucking god, it's an extra life!
Blindfolded.
Whee! Go wild.
Following this, he traverses the wooden platforms and tries to go for yet another 1-up.
This man's addicted to 1-ups.
He clearly saw this 1-up with his eyes, but then remembered he was supposed to be blindfolded. So he passes it off by acting like he knew there should be a 1-up there, and goes back to grab it. Again, no setup whatsoever.
There should be, like, some bomb-bombs up. Yes, okay.
This is absolutely pointless, as he had already just verified where he was. All he had to do here was hold forward and he would have reached the next wall. At this point, he once again reiterates the fact that this is only his third blindfolded run ever.
Wow, he's a prodigy.
This is your second blindfolded run, isn't it?
Technically this is my third.
And to be
The
fair,
first one I did was like...
while he can see, it is still blindfolded. There is a blindfold there.
But this guy doesn't do that. He instead goes for a regrab and gets it, again with no setup and no sound cues. He hits the throw on his second try, again using the normal visual.
This man's a hero! Let's
During
go!
his second throw, he stops and talks for about 30
Maybe
seconds.
he's like the
to explain how he
Daredevil.
First learned to speedrun
He,
blindfolded.
like, he's like a superhuman who can do things
The
blind.
viewer is asking.
And well, during streams, I would like, because I knew before I did my first blind run,
Holy fuck, James, you're good at blindfolded. Oh, that poor guy. No.
just like
I guarantee he bought some shungite.
or just look, is because I'm trying to time it based on like where my thumb is
Oh.
on the controller.
No, now it makes sense.
Because that's typically like a right around where Mario is, like
Right.
the direction that he's gonna throw. So I
Usually.
need to be like, if I think the bomb is where I think it is, if the bomb is where
Mhm.
I think it is, and I'm looking at it, then
Then we're golden.
Obviously, none of
Then
this
we're
makes
in.
sense in the first place, but he is directly.
Were you listening to the explanation?
Here he sits
feels
on
the chakra
bed, using
vibrations in
where
the
his thumb
air.
is on the stick to know where Bowser is, which already makes no sense on its own. Except he also mentioned in his first Bowser throw that he was using sound cues. Maybe he's only pretending to be blindfolded so he can hide the fact that he sucks at Bowser throws.
Oh, let's not get personal here. Okay? Come on now. Let's be professional about this.
He eventually does land the last throw, luckily avoiding all the fire.
Unbelievable.
And barely avoiding
Besmirching this good man's
nothing but pure
name.
skill and game sense.
So would you be opposed to doing Bowser in the sky and throws while turned around with a blanket over my head?
Yeah, that's reasonable. Say yes.
$50 if I do it turned around with a blanket over my head?
I'll give you 500. Start a bidding war. Don't cry. Say yes. Yeah. Let's get hungry. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Fuck.
Despite the glaring flaws in this person's gameplay, he has somehow been able to convince all but a few of his viewers that his blindfolded runs are legit. Messages in his Twitch and Facebook gaming chats show that most of the people watching him are completely convinced that what they're seeing is real. The best I can possibly assume in this situation is that he may actually be doing some of these parts at least partially blindfolded, only peeking through the blindfold whenever he's completely lost or doesn't know what to do. It's either that or the blindfold is just completely see-through, and his only goal during the run is to make it look like he can't actually see.
I think that's exactly what it is.
I almost thought this run was a joke, but it's...
So, before we get to the conclusion and his apology, I am going to speculate he can see the whole time and just does his best to act like it's blindfolded, but he doesn't know like how to ride that line. So he's either extremely overacting or underacting. It's never like good acting. It's just a poor performance all around. I was in the Hunger Games. I don't like to bring that up too often, but with my acting expertise, I can always pick apart acting, whether it's good or bad. So I just have to make that clear. And his explanation of Bowser with his thumb on the control stick correlating to where Mario is in the Nether Realm, the Shadow Realm, whatever. There's some real merit to that, though, I think.
I want to give a big shout out to both Katoon and Bubzia for their incredible help on this video. They helped to clarify a lot of questions I had about blindfolded Mario 64, and this video would not have been as comprehensive without their inputs. Also thanks to both them and Nabori for allowing me to use their footage for comparisons. I've left links to all of their streams.
Holy shit, did you see that? There's like 15 blindfolds on him.
Also thanks to both them and Nabori
for allowing me to use their footage. It was a towel, a blindfold, a blindfold.
I've left links to all of their streams
all
and
together.
YouTube channels in the description. Please check all 3 of them out if you want to see some legitimate blindfolded runs of Mario.
I kind of want to learn Super Mario speedrunning, to be honest. I tried back in 2012, watching Siglimic. It's hard. But it looks so fun. That was a great video. So, you said the guy apologized? Okay, so I'm guessing it's this one. That is the... I don't want to just keep pausing it, but a PSA to anyone. Never start an apology video like that. That is the most cliche shit ever. I'm surprised he doesn't have a dog on his lap. Rough. The sigh. If he follows it up by saying, I didn't want to have to make this video, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Now, what you may not know is that speedrun was purposely fake.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go.
At all similar to other blindfolded speedruns. I've watched blindfolded speedruns, and they're very impressive. They're very impressive.
They are. They are very impressive.
And I never once wanted to take away anything from those individuals that do those runs. I have the utmost respect for them. Those runs are very impressive. At this point, I've never, like...
You should double down and be like, those runs fucking suck compared to mine.
I myself am a speedrunner, but I have no legitimate interest in going that route with my speedruns. I know the video paints me in a very specific light, and I'm not a bad person. I'm not, like, a mean-spirited person.
It didn't make any of those claims.
Person.
Spiteful.
I don't do things maliciously. What? It's not who I am. This was just good fun. This was just jokes.
I had fun.
My downfall...
I did enjoy it.
And others have understood where I'm coming from. And while some of them might say, ah, man, you know, that's still rough, but... that
he doesn't even cry.
But again...
Why are you going to make an apology video and not cry?
Like I didn't...
Alright. I think what he should have done, like if I was his PR manager, I think he should have come into this apology really combative. He should have come in here and be like, anyone who thinks I cheated, I challenge you to fucking wrestle me in the Thunderdome. I've rented out the local octagon, and if you think I cheated, you can come fucking fight me. Like, he should have just come in here really aggressive and just denied the fuck out of it. There's few things more sacred than a fishing tournament. Just some good old-fashioned elbow grease, a fishing rod, some bait, and grabbing Mother Nature by the balls and saying, we evolved past the need to be aquatic creatures. Now we live on the land, but we're coming back out to the sea just to prove who the boss is, who's the top of the food chain. The point I'm making is, fishing tournaments, they've been around for a long time, and there hasn't really been any major scandals, at least none that have hit the mainstream that I'm aware of, until today. Right now, there is a massive cheating scandal going on in the professional fishing scene that is shocking. This is a doozy. We got some Bassmaster foolery going on around here. Kind of. Yeah, the sanctity of fishing has been disrespected. Unfortunately, there has been another cheating scandal, this time in professional fishing. Every sport ever right now is having cheating scandals. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. Pandora's box has been open. And this one, it's quite crafty. I've seen the video beforehand, but I'll of course play it again to catch everyone up to speed. It's a pretty smart idea. I'm surprised that this isn't more common. Thanks for your sub, Lancer, Baggy, the Prime, Kintarit, and the 10 gift subs, Ace. Thank you, Ace. Your sub, Gavin, Delicious, Oni, and the Bits Mushroom. And give sub, Father. It's like a NASCAR rally. Show me your butthole.
Where's the other one? You fucking cops! You fucking deaf, motherfucker! Call the fucking cops! Listen to me right now.
Now, I'm gonna be on the side of the fishermen here. This is legitimately a problem because by cheating in these tournaments, they won a lot of money, robbing people of that prize. So it wouldn't be silly to get authorities involved. Because fishing tournaments, they actually do have decent prize pools. It's more than you'd expect. You know, like, you're not going to be like a multi-billionaire off fishing tournaments or anything, but it's a good chunk of change, especially for just like hobby fishermen or even semi-professional or professional fishermen. It's a good chunk. Like, sometimes it'll get up to 10, 20, 30 grand from the ones I've seen. This one was 300K. 300K? Holy fuck! Oh, that's what this guy made in total from his winnings. Oh. From cheating. Okay, gotcha. Jesus.
I don't want anybody to touch these guys. I want everybody to go to jail. Tell the cops.
That's a lot of Wrangler jeans. So here's the method they use to cheat. Actually very smart, not gonna lie. Yep. Lead anal beads. They thought of everything. They put little weights in the fish they caught so that way they were heavier. Because when it comes to professional fishing, it's all about the weight of the fish you catch. That's how you're scored, right? You catch a big, heavy, girthy fish, you get, you know, more points for it. So this guy was stuffing weights down their throat to make them heavier. Actually ingenious, by the way. Like, that's pretty fucking smart.
Fucking champ, dude. I mean, we all fucking knew it. What the fuck, man?
One guy's just so disappointed. Hey, man, what the fuck?
A filleted fish. Look at this is a fillet. Yeah, a fillet fish. It's a walleye fillet.
Yep.
He needs to go to jail. Anything to say, Jerry?
Now, one thing I had a question on, because I haven't finished the video, I wanted to save the ending for stream, so that way we're all learning together. Is this the cheater right here? Because he looks very defeated. I'm assuming this is him. Yeah, it is. Jake, as the good book said, you can't cheat in fishing. One of the 10 commandments. And he's got sponsors, too. At least judging by his jacket here. That's rough.
You got anything to say? Hey, you guys didn't refund all that fucking money. Fucking talk shit to me, dude. And that's what you fucking do. How many fucking ways are there?
Oh man. I'm surprised it didn't get more aggressive. What did Steve do?
Take pictures. I need pictures. You videoing this whole thing?
Got video.
Yeah. I videoed it right off the rip.
Was Steve the one that caught
Hold on,
him?
let me take pictures. You fucked over a lot of people, man. They've been doing this shit for years. Cheating motherfuckers, man. Piece of fucking shit. You got a fucking boat. You got thousands of fucking dollars. You stole from them.
He's absolutely right. He did steal all that from the people that competed legitimately. So how was he caught? I didn't want to look too deep into this because I thought it'd be more fun to uncover the truth together. Where can I read about like the method the method they used to catch him? Because now at this point, I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting they use like infrared scanners or something. They brought in a fish whisperer to ask the fish how much it weighed. And then when it turns out the fish was lighter than the scale said, they got suspicious. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is more than just an accusation. This is like as definitive proof as you can find of cheating. Fish aren't just swallowing these lead weights. Like, that's just not happening. This guy's a 100% cheater. It wasn't an accident. Okay, so they came out with a firm statement. Disgusted guys and gals, I'm sorry for letting you down for so long. I'm glad I caught cheating taking place in your loot at the same time. What in tarnation? What is that? I'm glad I caught cheating taking place in your loot. What does that mean? It's an acronym for the tourney. Oh, the Lake Erie Walleye Trail. Ah, gotcha, thanks. Nice. Good work, loot. How did they catch him, though? Clearly got away with this for a long time. How were they finally busted? Why weren't they bleeding? Well, if you read this paragraph or this sentence right here, it explains. 2 anglers were caught cheating in a Cleveland fishing tournament by adding lead weights in fish fillets that appeared to be previously prepared to increase the weight of the fish. So it wasn't just the weights. That's why he kept pulling out the, look at this fillet! Fisher, the tournament's organizer, told 19 News the fish looked smaller than they weighed. This prompted the fish to be checked for any signs of cheating. Wait, they eyeballed it? How did they get away with it for so long then? I assume the weight was just like marginally bigger than the fish, so that way it wasn't too suspicious, but if they were able to eyeball like, wow, this is outrageous compared to the size, how could they have possibly got away with it for a long time? Or maybe Fisher's just got a really strong eye. Yeah, no, this guy's got a great name to be a fishing tournament organizer. His name's just straight up Fisher, so that's cute. I run a fishing tournament in Louisiana and we have busted someone for this exact same thing. When we went to put the fish on the scale, the weights fell out of its mouth. Oh, get fucked. Unlucky. He's got to work on stuffing that turkey. Amateur. He made $300K in just 1 year. He's made $3 million total from cheating. Oh, god damn. 3 million clams? Yeah, has he made a statement yet? What's his name? Jake? They just kept saying Jake. Jake Runyon and Chase Kaminsky. It was 10 pounds over the previous record, but the fish didn't look record size. Oh, so they really just flew too close to the sun. They went wumbo on it for no reason. I mean, legitimately, there should be, like, legal action that comes from this. If he's cheated $3 million out of these tournaments, that should be a lawsuit. And the shamelessness to do it in fishing, of all things. I'm sure all of you remember the now infamous chess cheating scandal that rocked the entire planet due to the absurd nature of some of the claims, where one of the best chess players of all time, Magnus Carlsen, lost, and he insinuated that his opponent may have used less than honorable methods to achieve their victory. As a result, his opponent, Hans Niemann, was accused by many of being a potential cheater. And one of the theories that was cooked up, mostly in jest by a lot of people, but some very vehemently defended the idea that Hans Niemann may have cheated by having anal beads in his rectum. And just when you thought it was safe to go to a chess tournament with your sphincter unclenched, we see a very similar thing happen today. So that whole situation with Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann had a conclusion. That had a whole season finale, a whole ending arc. But the idea of anal beads to cheat still persists. And we've now just seen a new accusation against another Chinese chess player this time that they may have cheated using a similar piece of technology, a similar nefarious method for cheating. So there is a claim that someone who just won the championship did so by having a device planted in their colon where they would rhythmically tighten their sphincter in order to send signals back about the positioning on the board and then receive information on the best move to play. So it's the exact same concept. History truly does repeat itself. And so the champion has been accused of cheating, but that hasn't been proven 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt. But what has been proven is that he has pooped in a bathtub. I've been unable to locate crime scene photographic evidence, so I don't know if this is a Caddyshack moment with like just one turd floating around, or if this was like destroying the bathtub beyond all salvation. I'm not sure. But because he shit in the bathtub, he has been stripped of his championship title due to his bad behavior. One moment of weakness, some Hershey squirting accident in the bathtub has now cost him the title of champion. I went over it on stream, so I'll show you clips from that, but I also wanted to go over a little bit from the Mr. Beast D's Nuts lawsuit that I touched on last night, because I didn't even know that was going on, and I found that to be pretty interesting too. The Chinese chess champion stripped of title after defecating in hotel bathtub, allegedly used anal beads to cheat. I saw the headline, I haven't looked at it. Let's take a peek. So Chinese chess is different than normal chess. It's a completely different set of rules. This led to a lot of confusion on Twitter from what I saw. But I'm very curious how pooping in a bathtub would somehow give him the tools he needed to win this match. I feel like that'd be a detriment more than anything. The world of Chinese chess is in an uproar over rumors of cheating and a bad behavior scandal that saw the national champion stripped of his title on Monday after a victory celebration ended with him defecating in a hotel bathtub. I mean, if you're not shitting in a bathtub, are you even really celebrating? I don't even know why they'd be upset about that. Why would that be an issue? His joy was short-lived, with the CXA on Monday announcing that Yan would have his title revoked and prize money confiscated after he had been caught disrupting public order and displaying extremely bad character. The association was also forced to address rumors circulating online that Yan had cheated during the competition by using anal beads equipped with wireless transmitters to send and receive signals. How would that work, though? You can't have anal beads and be in a bathtub at the same time. Like, those two just wouldn't mix, right? I imagine the water would short-circuit it. Or maybe I'm just not familiar with where anal bead technology is. Maybe it's more sophisticated than I give it credit for. Yan allegedly clinched and unclinched rhythmically to communicate information about the chessboard via code to a computer, which then sent back instructions on what moves to make in the form of vibrations, according to reports circulating on Chinese social site Weibo. Based on our understanding of the situation, it is currently impossible to prove that Yan engaged in cheating via anal beads as speculated on social media. But he was stripped of his title and banned from playing for a year after his celebration went wayward. Yan consumed alcohol with others in his room on the night of the 17th and then defecated in the bathtub of the room he was staying in on the 18th. In an act that damaged hotel property, violated public order and good morals, had a negative impact on the competition and the event, and was extremely bad character. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought he was playing Chinese chess in the bathtub for the championship and then pooped himself. Okay, so these are totally separate instances. So he's being accused of cheating via the anal beads method, and then after winning via cheating, went and pooped in the bathtub. Got it. Okay. Used his prostate as a Morse code receptor. Well, not a receptor, a Morse code transmitter. It's basically like the Lorenz machine from the World War II era. He's sending code back. I'm curious, is there any more on this? I want to see the scene of the crime. Can I see how much poop was in the bathtub? Like, maybe it was just like a small log. Or maybe he'd like actually destroyed the bathroom. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any proof of the defecating. I'll take their word for it, though. God, I just need you to see this. This isn't necessarily about the story, but this is the most ads I've ever seen on a website so far. Since I turned off ad blocks, that way I don't have to, like, go around and go through hoops to get to websites anymore, this is what I get. This is unusable. This is actually unfucking usable. It's 5 ads per 3 blocks of text. Per 3 blocks of text. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. And auto-playing videos out the wazoo. It's fucking miserable. I'm just trying to see a picture of the pooped-in bathtub. That's it. Did you see the latest on Wander Franco? He was on the run in the Dominican Republic and police found him today. Oh, they already found him? Damn, one of the video ideas we had was to track down Wander Franco, since he played for the Rays. We thought it'd be fun if we were the ones to catch him, like Dog the Bounty Hunter. Fuck, they beat us to it? Okay. YouTuber Mr. Beast. Oh, he lost. Loses D's Nuts lawsuit against Florida company. I thought this was an ongoing thing. Mr. Beast was ordered to stop selling candy with the name D's Nuts after losing a lawsuit to a Florida business owner. Damn, you can't fuck with Florida, I guess. Who got him? A Jacksonville man took Feastables and Donaldson to federal court after he noticed the name sounds similar to his gourmet peanut business, D's Nuts. Oh, interesting. Okay. So these nuts belong to D. So D's Nuts owner Brian Detour named the company after his grandma D and owns the copyright. In the lawsuit, Detour claimed Donaldson's near identical product name was dominating search engine traffic that would have otherwise gone to his company. Detour argued that the use of D's Nuts was causing confusion, mistake, or deception and infringed on his copyright. His attorneys filed an injunction last week seeking to block Donaldson from using the name. On Wednesday, U.S. District Court judge sided with Detour and ordered Donaldson to stop using D's Nuts or a similar name. The candy was still available for sale with its original name on the Feastables website as of Thursday. That's super interesting because it's just after the meme. But it is a similar product to what he was selling, I guess, so you could make the argument. No, I guess not really, though. He's making a gourmet peanut. This is chocolate with peanuts. I don't know. He lost, though. I'm not a fucking judge. I would say it's clearly not meant to infringe on your copyright. It's based off of an extremely popular meme. I just don't really see who would get confused. Him saying the traffic would otherwise go to his company is interesting. Yeah, it really is a very interesting claim to be making. But he won, so it worked out. I'd like to start by addressing all of the individuals on Twitter that have been spamming me today demanding that I give Billy Mitchell an apology. This is my official response to all of you. Oh, almost fell off the chair on the way down. Billy Mitchell does not deserve an apology because Billy Mitchell is not innocent. You are letting him manipulate and lie to you as he has done for his entire career. I don't think he's even able to accidentally tell the truth about anything. If a single truthful statement left the lips of Billy Mitchell, he'd probably be set on fire instantly, smited by the Lord. His whole core being, his soul, is entwined with his lies. And yet somehow, people are letting him get away with it again. For those that don't know, Silly Mitchell here has convinced not only his audience, but also the general Twitter audience that he was somehow victorious in his lawsuit against Twin Galaxies. If you don't know who Billy Mitchell is, he's the self-proclaimed video game player of the century for his high scores, which were fraudulent. He is a cheater. And over the last 5 or 6 years, his legacy has just been as a spittoon for the internet to spit in and laugh at, and just genuinely been the punching bag to everyone's joke because he is so pathetic. He's become less known for his video game antics and more known for his frivolous lawsuits, which he just tosses out of his ass out the wazoo. He sued Cartoon Network because they made fun of him in an episode. He sued YouTubers because they've used a meme that insinuates he cheated. The guy super sucks. He is a turbo fucking loser. But whiny Billy Mitchell here is never satisfied and always has to keep sticking his hand in the cookie jar. So one of the organizations he recently sued was Twin Galaxies, which was the site that used to host his records until they scrubbed them when they learned that they were cheated. They weren't real. He sued them for defamation, and they recently settled, and Billy put out a statement as well as Twin Galaxies, and Billy led everyone to believe that he may be in the clear. His records have been reinstated, thus he's not a cheater. Everyone was wrong about this guy. Somehow so many outlets are running with this as well, from what I can tell, that his records have been reinstated, which is leading everyone to believe that he's not a cheater. He is. Here's a 4-hour video with irrefutable evidence that Billy Mitchell is, without a shadow of a doubt, a cheater. It's extremely obvious and downright painful how no one even bothered to look into this for even an iota of a second here. Billy Mitchell did not win. He did not prove his innocence in any capacity whatsoever, and his records haven't been reinstated. Billy Mitchell's only W here was by not getting absolutely biblically embarrassed publicly at court and trial. This is the first time one of his lawsuits hasn't just been used as expensive toilet paper. It's the first time one of his lawsuits hasn't just been laughed out of existence. So I guess it's a slight W. It's the best possible scenario Billy Mitchell could have hoped for, because he and his legal team knew they could never prove that he didn't cheat. Because he did, and they know that, and everybody knows that. But they reached this settlement through a couple of different reasons, which we'll get to in a moment, but the settlement doesn't reinstate his records. Carl Jobst just posted a video breaking it down a little bit deeper, so check that out if you want to get into the nitty-gritty. His video title says Billy Mitchell lost his lawsuit, which isn't exactly correct. Nobody won. But since nobody won, Billy Mitchell kind of got the best outcome. He got the good ending for his dead to rights case. Like, it's a load of baloney, and the fact they settled means that Billy Mitchell got the best he could have hoped for. He didn't necessarily lose the lawsuit. Now let's address the reinstated records everyone keeps talking about. What Twin Galaxies agreed to do was make a historical archive for how the site used to be when Billy Mitchell's fraudulent records were still there. They basically just added a Wayback Machine that showed Billy Mitchell's old records on it. That's it. It's not on the main leaderboard. They're not officially endorsing those as real runs. Twin Galaxies, from what I can tell, still maintains that they are fraudulent and he is a cheater, but they agreed in this settlement to at least house them on Twin Galaxies under this archive. That's it. It's just a portal to peek at Billy Mitchell's bullshit through Twin Galaxies' historical archive. It's just Wayback Machine for it. It's not an official reinstatement of his runs or giving them the stamp of approval that they're legitimate. He will never, ever be able to prove he didn't cheat, because he did, and he knows that. The number one defense against defamation is the truth, and the truth is Billy Mitchell is a cheater. And if this ever made it to trial, that would come out. So the settlement here is absolutely the best case scenario for him, which sucks. It is really sad that Twin Galaxies settled here. The unfortunate reality is things went wrong on Twin Galaxies' legal side, and things went really wrong on Billy Mitchell's legal side. But at the end of the day, they ended with this settlement because it couldn't continue with the way it was going and the expenses that it was incurring. As tragic as it is, that's the American way. Whoever has the most money will usually win when it comes to these legal matters. It was becoming too expensive, and it reached this settlement, which is the best case for big boy Billy. Even if you just look at his official statement, this is really grinding my gears, nowhere in here does it even suggest that he was cleared of the cheating allegations, because he's a goddamn cheater, and everyone knows it, but for some reason, because Billy Mitchell is saying, like, the records have been reinstated, they're like, oh, he must not be a cheater anymore. And even in the statement, it even makes it very clear that it's part of the official historical database, not the actual leaderboards. It's totally separate. It's not real. They're fake. But people still ran with it. I'm like, Charlie, when are you going to apologize to Billy Mitchell? You know he's innocent now, right? It's like, no, hop off the goof juice. He's not. Now, there's a mention here of Dr. Zaida, and if you go to Twin Galaxies' website, you'll find that name mentioned as well. A supposed super scientist who's willing to risk his entire career in the defense of Billy Mitchell by suggesting it's possible he didn't cheat for those records. And this man is a goober, a straight-up goober. Carl Jobst goes more in depth on his claims. I'm just going to give you some of the cliff notes. One of his unironic suggestions is that, well, it's possible Billy Mitchell forgot to clean the tapes before recording, which caused some artifacting, which made it look suspicious. To try and explain away how his runs matched identical to MAME runs. Unmodified runs somehow just artifacted with a not clean tape and looked exactly like the MAME runs multiple times over the course of years. What a weird coinky-dink that is, huh? Like, those are some of his suggestions. It is bafflingly stupid what this guy tries to claim. I highly encourage you to watch that Veritas video going over the entire Billy Mitchell thing. There is no room for just freak coincidences, or maybe there was some kind of malfunction, which is something that Dr. Zaida suggests. There may have been a malfunction. What in tarnation? Why, I ought to give you a swirly in the bathroom for that. He doesn't give him any evidence to it, he just says, could have been a malfunction. What malfunction would cause it to look exactly like MAME? Like, what? How? It is unironically one of those last-ditch Hail Mary responses you give when you have no out and you know your goose is cooked. Like, Charles, whose cocaine is this in your car? I have no idea. I don't know how that got there. Well, why is it in your car? I don't know. Something clearly went awry. Must be some kind of malfunction. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Like, this Dr. Zaida risks his entire reputation to try and defend Billy Mitchell with the worst mumbo-jumbo ever. Nothing substantiated, nothing even sensical. And Twin Galaxies just puts his name on this pile of garbage, saying, you can take the heat for this, but we're going to go through with this settlement and just put up a historical archive of his old record. It's not real. They haven't been reinstated. They just provided an old snapshot from 2014 when those records were there. So you can go look at the old record, but it's not on the main leaderboard at all. His records have not been reinstated. Billy Mitchell has not proved that he didn't cheat. He never will, because he cheated. And that's the simple explanation of it. Billy Mitchell got this settlement because he had more money than the other side. So he was able to squeak this out, which is a very slight win for him, admittedly, which is upsetting, because he doesn't deserve it. Had this gone to trial, I have no doubt his clock would have been cleaned here. Anyone, when faced with the evidence of Billy Mitchell's career, and all of the mistakes he made in handling the case, by the way, would immediately rule against him. And he knew that. So he got super lucky with how all of this unfolded. So I just wanted to clear the record here that Billy Mitchell is not innocent. He is not owed an apology from anybody. That's about it. See ya. I've never been a huge believer in fate or destiny, that people's lives follow a predetermined path that they're forced to go down. I've never really subscribed to that belief until recently. I think there are people out there that are just born to be losers. Just like a joke of a person that follows this trajectory of the most pathetic path possible. I'm talking specifically about one man that I've made multiple videos on now, named Billy Mitchell, the self-proclaimed video game player of the century, a lame-ass title that he pretty much gave himself because he had some high scores in some old video games, most notably his King of Kong score, the high score in Donkey Kong, which he cheated for. I know that's a dangerous word to be talking about in the same sentence as Billy, because he is so litigious. He sues everyone who accuses him of cheating or even makes fun of him in relation to cheating. He even tried to sue Cartoon Network because his feelings got hurt when there was a villain in the regular show that bears a resemblance to him who blows up when he loses his high score in a video game. And he got so offended, this sensitive nematode got so fucking upset about it that he tried suing Cartoon Network and subsequently got laughed out of court for it. So not only is he so pitiful that he fakes his video game high scores, but he also is an insufferable douchebag who legally comes after anyone that makes jokes about him or talks about him in a bad light. And he fails to realize that the person that does the most damage to his reputation is himself for these absolute childish tantrums that he throws. He is a known cheater. There are mountains upon mountains of evidence against him. There is more evidence to confirm Billy Mitchell has cheated than there is evidence to confirm the sun is hot. He is a fucking cheater. But even if you want to disregard all of the evidence that currently exists, Carl Jobst recently made an amazing breakdown of new evidence that just surfaced that 100% confirms that he has cheated his scores. The video is amazing. Carl Jobst, I recently made a video on about Billy Mitchell because he is being sued by Billy not once but twice. One of them because he used a meme that insinuated Billy as a cheater. It's beyond comical at this point, but now all of that seems like it's going to be completely washed. You can just wipe your ass with a lawsuit at this point with the new evidence that surfaced that Carl Jobst highlights here. And I'd like to go over the whole situation here with you and show you some highlights from it. I'm also going to put a link to Carl's video in the description so you can check it out in its entirety. Overall, I'm just super excited about this and extremely happy to see where it goes from here, because this should 100% put the absolute kibosh on all of his lawsuits, since the truth is now known. No matter, like, if you disregard all of the other evidence, this one is completely irrefutable, I think, and that's great. Billy Mitchell, man. He just can't stop collecting these L's. Just to quickly bring everyone up to speed here, Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century, also punching bag for the regular show, where he even tried to sue them for making fun of him in an episode, has come after many people legally for all kinds of defamation cases, and the core of it boils down to people accusing him of being a cheater. And I'm going to go a step further. They're not just accusing him like, you know, allegations of cheating. They have caught him being a cheater. But he has always maintained his innocence. And that's where it all stems from. He still claims he's never cheated, and anyone that makes fun of him or says otherwise gets a nice fat lawsuit from Billy Mitchell. Cooked up in the deepest pits of his basement, I guess. I'm pretty sure he writes them himself, and he takes it as far as it can go. Have you been sued? Billy Mitchell has still not sued me, and I have made fun of him fucking 50 times by now. I don't know why. I actually feel left out. I feel like I'm not part of the cool kids lunch table here because Billy Mitchell won't sue me. He is suing Carl because Carl used a meme of Billy that made fun of him and insinuated he was a cheater. Carl used a meme. I point blank called this absolutely disheveled, drunk-looking man a cheater a million times. Point blank. And he won't come after me? Asshole. I'm gonna sue him for refusing to sue me.
How is it possible that he performed them at a live event in front of hundreds of people if he faked it and actually played on an emulator? The videotapes must be fake, or are not his actual gameplay, or should just be ignored, because he has real people that say he really did it, and they saw it happen, so it must be legit. As Billy said in his lawsuit, if everyone is lying, it must be a conspiracy akin to that of the Kennedy assassination. But here's the...
Wait, what? Pardon? What was that? Thus, Twin Galaxies' case essentially rests on a conspiracy nearly as broad and untenable as the Kennedy assassination. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he writes these himself. What self-respecting lawyer is going to sit down and put that in text? Who would do that? Like, I'm surprised he doesn't go into, like, the Zapruder film. What they faked here is akin to the Zapruder film. And in fact, the moon landing too, while we're at it.
The videotapes were the only tangible evidence these scores ever happened, so that's all anyone had to go off. Aside from the tapes, it was just people saying that it happened, which really doesn't cut it. There was no footage of Billy actually playing. There was nothing to indicate that he was even there, or...
I'm sorry to keep pausing so frequently, it's just such a wacky case. He still believes that he shouldn't be accused of being a cheater, because even if those tapes are faked or whatever, people saw him do it live and have said, verbally said, he did it. That's fucking useless. I could get people together and say that I grew 5 inches. But then if you see me on camera and I'm 5'6", I can't just be like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's as untenable as the Kennedy assassination. This is all fabricated. It's fraudulent. Look at all these people that said that I grew 5 inches. It's fucking worthless. It's a fucking worthless statement, and I don't know if Billy's too stupid to realize that or if he truly does believe it. Because why would anyone take you at your word? I could say I got the high score on Donkey Kong. I got a 15 billion. And then I could have everyone in chat say, yeah, Charlie got a 15 billion. Should Twin Galaxies put that on their website and make me the world record holder? I don't have any video evidence of it, but I have a ton of people that said I did it. The answer should be a resounding no. It's so silly. It's so silly.
That he played at all. That is, until now. For the first time in 15 years, photos of Billy Mitchell at one of these events where he claims to have achieved one of his world records have surfaced. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. These photos absolutely destroy Billy's case. He is done. There is no more doubt Billy will lose his lawsuit. These photos...
This is already so fucking good. So these photos destroy the lawsuit. Why? The referee who looks really sad to be there? Did he let the cat out of the bag? Man, that tie is mean though. Look at Billy Mitchell's tie. Holy shit, Captain America over here.
These photos do more damage than anything that has come before them, and I'm not exaggerating. Even if you disregard all of the videotape evidence, Billy's world records would still be disqualified and he would still be banned for lying just because of these photos. So how is that even possible? Let's find out. I really hope you enjoy.
Man, this would be worse than if his sex tape leaked,
Now,
I guess.
Legends, I am super excited because the second is a 1.05 million point score Billy achieved in 2007, which is known as the mortgage broker's score. This is because he supposedly achieved it at a mortgage broker's convention. The videotapes for both of these scores show footage that isn't legitimate. This is a fact, and it's why he was banned. But aside from...
Let me read that one more time. It's been a while since I've seen this. It is inarguable that he was cheating, by the way. It's not allegations. It is legitimately inarguable. I can't remember. Did we go over the entire evidence package on stream at some point, or am I having a fake memory right now? Maybe we did it on the podcast. Because I do remember going through at least a good chunk of it. Quite a while back. Number 3 is just a single sentence. During the event, Billy played in a very large convention room and interacted with and performed in front of thousands of people, myself included. And? It's... Oh, this is all one person's statement. Oh, I thought this was 5 or 6 different statements from different people. I was like, what the fuck? There's nothing more there. This is one person's account. Okay. This is part of the whole thing from her statement. I was like, Jesus, come on. I don't know if I feel like going through the whole thing. But I guess a written testimonial claiming that they saw it, that's all you need. Surely there's no such thing as lying, and many of the members I worked with are still active members now. All this information is very available, very public, and quite memorable. Sheila, why are you writing that with so much attitude? You're not the one on trial for cheating or anything. That was a very aggressive sign-off.
This leaves 3 witnesses that say they directly saw him get the world record. The first is from a guy called Richard Mallion. He says he watched Billy's score reach beyond 1 million points and that he saw him achieve his targeted score. Richard is actually a childhood friend of Billy's. In fact, he appeared opposite Billy in the school yearbook. But let's not hold that against him. While it is common for friends to lie for each other, let's not assume that's what happened. He has a nice suit, and he has a nice watch.
Very
trustworthy. No one who dresses this well could lie. So I'm going to put that into the yes column. For the no column, there isn't much I've found out about Richard that really concerns me, except for this super tiny detail of him pleading guilty to conspiracy, securities fraud, money laundering, and criminal contempt in 19...
Could have happened to anyone, and in fact, I'm going to tell you what happened. He was set up by twin galaxies. They knew there was a connection between the Duck and Billy Mitchell, the King of Kong, and they tried to attack everyone in Billy's circle. Complete misunderstanding. Very fabricated, not real.
1996, after an FBI sting
hold it
operation.
against him.
I mean, it's probably nothing, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't include it. Maybe this is being too judgmental, but I'm gonna go ahead and add to the fact that he was charged again with fraud in 2019 by the SEC, and had to pay back $750,000.
Once again, Carl, this was a setup. My man, this was twin galaxies trying to take out the witnesses. You know, no different than Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, where Scott had to go through all the ex-boyfriends and shit. This is twin galaxies going through all of the witnesses right now. You can't hold it against Richard here. He did nothing wrong.
In 2021, Richard was unfortunately arrested for conspiracy to commit fraud. Look, he has just not been lucky when it comes to fraud. He keeps getting caught. I, for one...
This picture here... Now I know it was a frame job, and I know it's all false, because they're doing my man Richard so dirty with this mugshot here. Like, it looks like he's fucking skydiving, like all the skin's being pushed towards the back of his skull here. It's like he's fucking melting. Where does the neck start and the chin end? Oh, man. Is he laying down and they took this picture? What is going on here?
keeps getting caught. I, for one, do not hold this against him. When I look at this table, I see 3-3. It's pretty
That's
even.
tough. That's a
Personally,
toss-up.
I'm leaning towards trusting the guy, but you let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, so Billy's first witness is a bit sketch. Who's number 2? Billy's second witness that says he saw him
Oh
get
God,
it
it's
is
Todd Rogers.
Oh boy, this is not going well. Okay, hit me with number 3. Surely we're going to get a winner.
He's probably not going to touch on Todd Rogers. Todd Rogers is another notorious cheater of these old game high scores. He has a whole saga of his own. I don't even think I could do it justice trying to summarize it here. But that is so poetic that one of the other witnesses is fucking Todd Rogers. That's amazing. This is like a team of Avengers that he has for witnesses.
The third witness that says they saw Billy get the score is Kim Mahoney, who is also Todd Rogers' girlfriend. I'm going to be completely honest here.
Coincidence.
I'm getting the impression that Billy's witnesses may not be entirely trustworthy. There's Billy and Todd posing with a couple of people. There's a camera that was recording Billy play, even though that footage doesn't seem to exist for some reason.
They left the
Billy
lens
and Todd
on.
posing
Lens
again
cap.
with the thumbs up. Maybe this is just after Billy got the world record. I have to admit, everything here looks pretty legit, and oh my god, what is that?
I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm not knowledgeable enough. What is it? Is it a copyright 2023 on there?
That joystick is not an original Donkey Kong joystick. This arcade machine does not have original, unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware.
Oh,
This
jeepers.
is an original Donkey Kong stick. It's got a big black ball and a short column. The
Oh,
stick on
wow.
Billy's arcade is a tall stick with a smaller ball, and it's obviously red, so the stick has been changed to something else.
Easily explainable. This machine was considered so legit that they had to change out the stick. Otherwise, because people were fighting each other to compete for high scores on it because it was so fucking real. So the stick just got worn out from overusage, but the machine, that's the only thing that's been changed. That much I'm sure of. Or, you know what, that's a good point. This could have been a special edition cabinet that was sent to Billy Mitchell by Nintendo themselves. They were so happy that the King of Kong wanted to use an arcade cabinet that they made that they gave him a special red stick. You know, for the red, white, and blue, because he's such a patriot, obviously. Easily explainable.
On top of that, it appears to be an 8-way stick. Now, the original Donkey Kong stick is 4-way, which means it can only go up, down, left, and right. The game can be played. If you want to steer barrels while on a ladder, you have to stop and hold left or right, because you can't go up and to the side at the same time. But with an 8-way stick, you can continue to climb ladders while steering barrels by using the diagonals. With an 8-way stick, you
That's
can do
interesting.
things you can't do on an original arcade, which is
I'm actually just even shocked that he played the game. I thought this was going to prove that Billy Mitchell's never even touched Donkey Kong in his life. So honestly, at this point, I have a little more respect for Billy knowing that he just used a cheating device in order to have a better score, like to play better. I thought for sure it was going to come out that he just doesn't even know what Donkey Kong is. He's never touched the fucking thing in his life.
which is why they are banned. So not only is the stick not original, which was totally banned, it looks like an 8-way stick, which is extra banned. His entire lawsuit against Twin Galaxies is based on the premise that he played on unmodified original arcade hardware, which is categorically not true.
True,
Not only
very
from
wrong.
the videotapes, but now from the photos as well. And his lawsuit is full of lies where Billy claims the hardware was unmodified. Everyone just got caught out, big time. And it gets...
How did they even let this happen? Surely they would have recognized the stick, right? This man dedicated his entire life to Donkey Kong and his high score. He did one thing that isn't even that cool, getting a high score in Donkey Kong, and he let it define his entire fucking life for the last 24 years. And he wouldn't recognize that the stick isn't original? Surely he would have done everything in his power to keep these photos buried. Fucking burn the photos, for God's sakes. He would have had to know that people would be able to easily see that it's not an original stick. He didn't release it. I get he wasn't the one that released it. What I'm saying is, I'm sure he would have done everything in his power to stop it from ever coming out. Like, legitimately burn these photos. But maybe that was just beyond his control at this point. Like, who released it? Well, maybe Carl will mention it here in a moment. I'm just shocked he wouldn't go immediately to the event. He knew the photos were being taken. He was literally giving thumbs up with Todd Rogers in front of the cabinet. So he knew there were photos. And he would have known that people would have recognized that as a not legitimate, unmodified stick. So why would even A, let photos be taken, and B, not go to the event and like fucking scrub those archives?
You may be wondering why Billy would lie about something that can so obviously be disproven.
That's what I was just talking about.
And the answer is that Billy didn't know these photos existed. In fact, the entire Donkey Kong community didn't know these photos existed. They were only made public recently, and not by Billy Mitchell. These photos were never made public, and they were only retrieved now by directly contacting the organizers of the convention.
That blows my mind. He literally gave a thumbs up multiple times with Todd Rogers in front of that machine. Who was he giving the thumbs up for? He knew pictures were being taken. What did he think happened to that? What? Wait, what? This is a cool angle of Billy, though, I will say. His hair looks even more like a Lego block in this angle. But I still just can't believe that he wouldn't remember photos being taken because he posed multiple times for him. I'm also surprised that it took this long for someone to contact the event staff from the mortgage thing. I feel like a lot of people would have thought to do that a long time ago, but maybe just now they finally found the photos.
I cannot wait until this goes to trial, and you best believe that when it does, I'm going to cover it. I'm excited, and I think you should be too, because this is going to be a lot of fun. As always, thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
This is also great news for Carl. This is a big Carl W as well, because he is currently getting sued by this goofball, this goober. And as everyone knows, the #1 defense against defamation, which is what Billy Mitchell is coming after him for, is the absolute truth. And now, it seems, it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, he cheated. Thus, the case against Carl is fucking kaput. It really just goes to show you, sometimes the simplest means and like the simplest explanations are the most effective. Hey, so you got this at a mortgage convention, what year? And where was it? Why don't I just give them a call? Maybe they have photos. Hey, you guys have any photos? Oh, we do, yeah, you want them? Yes, please. Bang. And now it's all over for Billy Mitchell's case. Aren't frivolous lawsuits illegal? Yeah, but it feels like a lot of people get away with doing that. He's made like an entire fucking career off of frivolous lawsuits. Has he actually won any lawsuits? My man, I don't think he's even had one of his lawsuits make it to a trial. They get thrown out so quick. But it's still expensive for the people he sues. It's still a headache. It's such an absurd thing to ruin your life over. Alright, let's not get carried away. Billy Mitchell didn't ruin his life over this. He's not gonna go to jail. He just has a legacy of being a fucking joke of a person and an insufferable asshole for all the frivolous lawsuits he tosses at people that make fun of him or point out that he's cheated. He hasn't ruined his life. The man has a fucking hot sauce deal, for God's sakes. None of which I think he earned, by the way. He has one accolade, and it's high scores at Donkey Kong, that he fucking cheated. So in fact, he got dealt a really lucky hand. He got one thing that he's never let go, and he's somehow found success from it. Might want to tone it back before he sues you. He can't anymore. He literally can't. Because the truth is now abundantly clear. Even if you set aside all of the inarguable evidence of him cheating, now these pictures that have come out confirm it even more beyond a shadow of a doubt. He legitimately can no longer sue anymore. Why do these confirm he's cheating? Oh, if you weren't here, I'll give you the quick explanation. So the whole claim is that he got the high scores on an unmodified original hardware. However, now that these pictures are out, you can see it's not. So the original hardware did not have this stick. It had a small black stick. So it had a black ball on top and the stick. Not this. So immediately that disqualifies all of his records because it is not unmodified hardware. He's lied about it. It is clearly modified. Oh yeah, and it's an 8-way stick apparently. which is another banned device because it gives you an advantage. You're able to cheat the game a bit more by being able to go in the other 4 angles here diagonally. So this stick right here just throws out everything he's ever claimed. That's just the stick cover. Well, it wouldn't matter. You know what? Let's play ball with you. Let's assume that is a stick cover and the original stick is still under there. That is A, still not allowed, and B, impossible, because here's what the original stick looks like. It's a tiny little goofy, like almost doorknob. Not that long stretched one. So it can't even just be a cover. It is a completely different stick. Chode versus grower. Yeah, I guess kinda. The OG is more chody. Not only that, I bet there was an emulator built into the arcade box. We're setting aside all of the massive amounts of evidence talking about it being on emulator, not original hardware. We're setting all that aside and just going by what we can physically see from the photos of the event, where it is clearly modified. You don't even need to touch all of the deep analysis, which also confirm that it's illegitimate. You can just look at the photos from the event and still get the correct answer that it's fake. I'm curious to see how he decides to fight this. You know he will not admit it. So, I'll make a prediction, and right now I'm on fire with my predictions. I think the way Billy Mitchell tackles this is the exact way that any fucking geriatric person would. It's all fake Photoshop, AI, fabricated. He's going to claim that these photos are fabricated, they're AI generated or AI enhanced, something like that. The photos are fake. They've done something with the knob. It's, you know, this was an original knob, but they've edited it all out. He's going to harp on it being photoshopped and doctored. 100%. If you're standing up, you're going to want to sit down. You're going to want to take a seat for this news. It's hard-hitting, like getting a call that Meemaw slipped and fell, except this isn't sad news. This is truly just baffling news. Right now in the chess community, there is a cheating scandal that's been going on for a couple weeks now that is so nefarious and so dubious, it'll have you questioning everything in your life. You won't know what's real and what's fake anymore once I reveal this to you. You'll start wondering if your parents are even your real biological parents, you know? It's gonna change your universe, you know? You'll start wondering, is the queen even dead? It goes so deep beyond chess. Like, I don't care if you have no interest in chess whatsoever, I really think this cheating scandal is still going to be captivating to you. Now, if you watch my streams, twitch.tv/moistcritical, feel free to stop in, stream every day, put a few extra inches on your penis. I've been following this since it happened, since ground zero, patient zero. The day that this began, I was actively following it on stream and going over everything as it developed. And now we've reached the point where it's spiraled so far out of control that it's just inducing madness. I feel like that scene in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he's got like the corkboard with all of the evidence and everything pointing to one name, Pepe Silvia. Like, it's become so convoluted and crazy. I just need to give you a quick spoiler to get you hooked on this story. The cheating allegations involve high-tech anal beads vibrating in a chess grandmaster's ass to transmit the best possible moves in order to win a match. That's the level of wildness we're dealing with here. I can't wait to share it, so let's get into it. I can't show any clips from the actual chess tournament where all this took place, or even subsequent clips of interviews, because as I understand it, they're very strict with that. So I'm just going to have to paint a picture with words and show you some corresponding tweets and articles and everything. So in a nutshell, what happened is the #1 chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, was competing in a tournament and was facing off against Hans Niemann, a very strong grandmaster, however not nearly to the level of Magnus Carlsen. This should have been an absolute steamroll. Everyone expected Magnus to just blue waffle Hans here, just kind of a throwaway, especially considering that Magnus Carlsen was playing the white pieces. For those that aren't familiar with chess, white pieces move first. And in the upper echelon of chess, that's a difference maker. It's a huge advantage. So you have the best player in the world with an advantage facing off against the lowest rated player in the tournament. You'd expect a fat W from Magnus here. But that's not the result that we got in this dimension. I'm sure in every other multiverse out there, Hans Niemann lost this match. But in this one, the one that we currently reside, Hans Niemann won. He beat Magnus Carlsen. So that alone was enough to raise eyebrows, but What set off the cheating allegations and all of this speculation was the subsequent interview. When Hans Niemann was interviewed about this absolutely colossal triumph, he gave a questionable interview that was a little weird, kind of all over the place. And you'd expect that because he's young. Hans Niemann is a 19-year-old kid. You know, he's not like a chiseled old veteran, you know, he doesn't have like a graying goatee, he's not like a fucking Master Roshi or anything, like, so you'd kind of expect him to be a little scatterbrained here, which is what I thought. You know, now granted, I'm not like a chess authority, I'm not a top player, I'm a fucking tiny pea-brained 1100 player, but even still, you know, it's a young man who just pulled off one of the biggest upsets in chess history. I wouldn't have expected him to give a fully buttoned-up interview and analysis, but during the interview, he said that he actually studied the line Magnus played against him beforehand, which was setting off all kinds of alarm bells. Now, keep in mind, this is a massive upset. The chess community was more willing to believe the Earth was flat than believe Magnus Carlsen lost with the white pieces. So they were already a little on edge with some question marks, and when Hans Niemann said that he had actually studied Magnus's line, everyone immediately flocked to the chess database to see when Magnus played this line prior, and it seems he'd only ever played it once. So a lot of people were questioning, why would Hans Niemann study this line when it's not something Magnus is known for, it's not something he's ever really played before? Why would Hans Niemann have just studied this right before the tournament? So then they start picking apart the interview and noticing that some of the things Hans was saying weren't fully correct. And keep in mind, these aren't just like normal spectators, I'm talking grandmasters, like the best of the best chess players were all opining on this situation and giving their perspective on it. And then Magnus Carlsen made this tweet which really set everything off. Magnus Carlsen announced that he was withdrawing from the tournament following his loss to Hans Niemann, and then posted that very famous YouTube clip of the coach saying, "If I say anything, I'm going to be in trouble, so I'm not going to say anything." And obviously this is an insinuation of foul play. That's how the chess community took it. That's how pretty much any sensible person would take it. Him tweeting this out with the "if I say anything, I'm in trouble" and withdrawing immediately had everyone believing that Magnus Carlsen was softly accusing Hans of cheating. Following this, the biggest chess streamer in the world, Hikaru Nakamura, explained on stream that Hans Niemann had actually been banned from chess.com before for cheating during some matches. Shortly after all the cheating accusations came to light, Hans Niemann was then banned from chess.com. So, now you're all caught up to speed on what exactly happened, but you're questioning, how could he have possibly cheated? And that's where this conspiracy goes fucking insano style. The leading theory across all of the major outlets is Hans Niemann was using anal beads that vibrated to instruct him what moves to make against Magnus Carlsen in the match. I'm not fucking kidding. This is the leading theory on how Hans Niemann cheated against Magnus Carlsen. So in order to fully digest this entree, I'm going to need to explain how cheating in chess can possibly work. A lot of them are galaxy brain schemes. Now, for those that aren't familiar with chess, there's engines. There's basically chess bots that will always know the best possible moves in any given situation, any position on the board. One of them is called Stockfish. So Stockfish has actually been modified in order to fit in someone's shoe. And this was tested by an independent player who put the Stockfish bot in his shoe. He calls it Sockfish. And it was able to transmit the best possible moves for his match, and it worked to a pretty decent degree of success, though of course needed further refining, but the technology does exist. It worked by sending pulsing to his foot that would basically work like Morse code, so it would pulse and tell him what position to move what piece and where. So pretty fucking cool. Now obviously that's illegal. You can't sneak a chess bot to play for you. It's cheating, but I think the point of this experiment was to show that it is possible. And he didn't do this in like a legitimate match. He revealed to his opponent, who found it humorous. But it is pretty impressive technology, so it's not far-fetched to think that anal beads couldn't accomplish the same thing as James Stanley's Sockfish. If you take the same idea, where you take Stockfish in the Raspberry Pi for the shoe and use it for your asshole, it could send vibrations or pulses through your rectum and work the same way as Sockfish. It would vibrate your colon in a way that would tell you the position to move on the board. So it can exist. Like, it's not super far-fetched. Like, we're not in the realm of sci-fi. It's not a fantasy. You could technically make some kind of butt plug that runs Stockfish and just have it vibrate Morse code for where you should move your pieces. It can, theoretically exist. Now, whether or not Hans Niemann had a butt plug or anal beads in that did this, it's up for anyone's guess. Only God knows, and only Hans Niemann's butthole knows. The thing with chess cheating is you can never be 100% sure either way. Because for a grandmaster to cheat, they'd only really need to hear one thing, a cough, that indicates there's a tactic on the board or anything, because they're all so good. If they just have even the slightest hint that there's something there, they will find it pretty quickly. So no one's 100% sure how prevalent cheating is. However, there's only been a few cases of cheating being caught at the top level. The most famous being about a decade ago during an Olympiad. There was a very high IQ plot to cheat where the teammate would send a coded text to another teammate, and then they would sit at a particular table which corresponded to a position on the board, and judging by where they were sitting, the player would then know what moves to make fundamentally. So by changing where they were sitting, they were transmitting information to the player, which obviously isn't allowed. Very galaxy brain shit, but this was caught and they did receive punishment for it. So yeah, it has happened before, but it's not something common. Now let's get back into this case specifically. Hans Niemann has been very outspoken. He's addressed all the rumors and every outlandish claim imaginable. He's been very open with everything. Now I want to give my personal perspective here, and I've talked about it on stream. I don't think Hans Niemann cheated. I really don't. The security was super tight at this event, and they were very thorough with their checks. In chess, they have checks to make sure that you're not smuggling in anything illegal or anything unsavory, unprofessional. Nothing that would give you an advantage. So during the beginning of this match, I can't show you the clip, but I'll show you a quick picture. They had a guy with a wand scanning Hans's entire body, top to bottom, even going as far as to investigate his gum, even checking his shoes, probably looking for sockfish, checking every nook and cranny of Hans Niemann's body without actually doing a cavity search. He didn't give him like the Naruto 1,000 years of pain up the asshole or anything, but he came pretty close. And he didn't find anything. So I just think it's highly unlikely Hans Niemann was able to pull a fast one on the chess organization here. I don't think he was able to smuggle in any secretive nanobot anal beads, because I feel like that would have been picked up by the wand this guy was scanning him with. So again, I think he went all natural here, fully biological, no augments. I don't think he cheated bringing a bot in or anything like that. Now, Hans Niemann has given yet another interview going more in depth on cheating allegations from his past. Hikaru brought up that he was banned by chess.com for cheating in some matches, and Hans Niemann does confirm that when he was younger, he did cheat in some online matches. He says they were unrated matches. It was back when he was younger, trying to grow his stream, and he had cheated back when he was like 12 years old as well in, again, online format, but has said he has never cheated in over-the-board chess. And this was very brave of him to be so open with his past of cheating online, because that's just one of those things that you don't really see a lot of people just tackle headstrong. That's something a lot of people bury. And I guess he was kind of forced to here since it was brought to light. But I still think being that transparent with it is pretty impressive, even if it is to the detriment of his career. I don't know how it's going to affect it going forward. Him being that open, I think, is pretty strong. And he is defending the legitimacy of his over-the-board career. In response to Hans Niemann's interview, Chess.com put out a statement saying that he will remain banned and that they had evidence that contradicts some of the statements he made, but Chess.com has yet to put forth that evidence for people to see. So as of right now, he's still banned and the evidence is hidden. And now I want to make it clear, not every Grandmaster is saying that Hans cheated. It's some of them that are standing strong that it's very suspicious how he beat Magnus. Some of them are claiming that all of his moves are a little too in line with moves that the chess bots make. But there are still a lot that support Hans, saying that, Magnus just didn't play that well that day. So it's really just full back and forth here. But since the anal bead theory broke, there was even an offer for Hans Niemann to play naked for $1 million to prove he didn't cheat. This anal bead theory is what's really taken hold from the cheating scandal here. And it all started as a meme. I don't think a lot of these publications did their due diligence here. The anal bead theory was just kind of a joke on the chess subreddit. There was very few people that legitimately believed it. They just started talking about it just because it was silly. But a lot of these publications have picked it up as if it's something believable. And yeah, theoretically, it could exist, but I still find it very unlikely that it does. But the point is, it started as just a joke that's now become something much bigger. And Hans Niemann said he'll fucking play naked to prove he hasn't cheated. Like, he's being a good sport about the anal bead stuff. He said he'll just play full bare-ass chess to prove that he is an innocent man when it comes to over-the-board chess games. Now, I'd like to just briefly give my opinion on Magnus Carlsen's tweet, because that's what really turbocharged all these cheating accusations here. He made that tweet and then went complete radio silence. He hasn't spoken out about this since, when he's the one that really, kicked a shit in the septic tank here and let it fester. I think it's a little, embarrassing to make that tweet and then have no follow-up. He just very slyly insinuates Hans may have been cheating. He withdraws from the tournament, which is no small thing, mind you. That's a big gesture. But refuses to actually come in here and give his stance on it when he's the one that kind of started most of it. I think that's a little sad. I would like if Magnus Carlsen would elaborate on why he made that tweet and what it's exactly in reference to. Is he accusing Hans of cheating? Does he think Hans cheated? Or did everyone misinterpret his tweet? I don't like the ambiguity of it. I would really appreciate, and I think most people would appreciate, if he elaborated a bit on his position, since he's the one that, he threw out the first move here, going for like a scholar's mate, potentially. So why not explain it a little more thoroughly? Tell us the line. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly get that out there because, I feel kind of strongly about that. But overall, I don't think he cheated, but we'll never fully know. No one will ever fully know because there's no way it will ever be proven. But what a wild story regardless. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. There's breaking news afoot, and you might not look at the world the same way after I'm done telling it to you. This is the biggest news in America since the Snowden leaks, and this makes that look like middle school gossip, just some trivial shit. What if I told you there was a cheater in the House of Caravan speedrunning community? There's no way you'd believe me. You'd recoil in your chair, vomit, and laugh it off. Ha ha ha, it's just a ghost story around the campfire. This isn't real, right? Well, what if I had proof? What if I did say it is indeed real? Many of you know I don't hold the House of Caravan speedrunning world record anymore, unfortunately. I am in 3rd place. But what if I wasn't? What if I told you the 1st place guy, Third Nugget, faked his run, and it's been confirmed? The hound of the speedrunning community, J-Mac, was on the case. He smelt cum in the water and he pounced. He knew there was something awry with the footage, so he spent countless hours and sleepless nights analyzing it tirelessly, connecting the dots, putting sticky notes on a cork board with ribbons that are connecting them all to the middle, and then he sends it away for forensics testing to the top experts in America. And what do we find? Not only is the footage slightly sped up, it's actually spliced. The run's a fake. The man's a phony. Now I know what you're thinking. You don't believe me. It can't be. A cheater in the House of Caravan speedrunning community? That's a sacred art. No one would dare defile something like that. The Lord made the world, and he made the world because he wanted to see House of Caravan speedrunning reach its apotheosis, which it has, mind you. He wanted to see HOC, as we call it in the community, pushed to its absolute limits, beyond what mortals thought capable. And we've reached that point. And this simpleton, this Cro-Magnon had the gall, the chutzpah, to drop a fucking steaming load on this community? That just doesn't sit right with me. We're a tight-knit community of House of Caravan speedrunners. We're an extra small condom on an extra large dick. And this man thinks he could pull a fast one on us like this? Now, don't just take my word for it. Let's analyze the footage together, and I'll show you that it's sped up and spliced. And I'm going to play it in real time here. This is the video that's currently on YouTube disgracing the website. The first dead giveaway that it's faked should have been bandicam.com. You know 2 things about somebody that uses bandicam to record things. A, they're a psychopath, and B, they're a fucking psychopath. It'd be less insulting if he used unregistered Hypercam 2 to record this. Now, that's the end of the run right there. At first glance, it really doesn't seem fishy, but I think using Bandicam's horrible recording quality, making it all choppy, was all part of the plan to make it harder to see what's really going on here. So let's take this more closely. Let's look at this through a real fine-combed toothbrush. Let's put this fecal sample under the microscope and see if Third Nugget's name is on it. Now here's a run from a hard-working American good boy, me in the top right, versus his run on the bottom left. 2 big differences: he's using Bandicam. I'm using Real Man software, OBS. Now there's a few things I want you to pay attention to here. Notice how his movement is just slightly faster than mine, which makes no sense because you can't go past the default speed, thus you had to speed up the footage by something not noticeable like a 0.2%. Not something blatantly obvious where it's sped up 100% looking like Looney Tunes out here, but something just subtle enough to make a really big difference in a game that's speedrun is so short. The next thing I want you to pay attention to is the key. When it pops up saying a key, notice how his message goes away significantly faster than mine. Thus another indication that the footage is sped up. And now in the darkness is when he splices it, where it's really hard to see. But you can tell he splices it because 1 second he's just outside the wall, the next second he's at the door, basically. That's impossible. He has no movements in between there. He just fucking teleports there. He's not the Nightcrawler. He didn't do anything. He just spliced the footage there to make it much, much faster. Now, if the side-by-side footage and explanation still isn't enough to convince you there's a cheater in the House of Caravan speedrunning community, I don't blame you. I'd still want more proof. I totally understand, so let's go ahead and get it right from the source. Let's hear it right from the chess master's anus. J-Mac called him out on it, and he folded immediately. He didn't even try to put up any facade or anything. He just said, yep, you know what, you're right. Kablammy. And that's how you fucking do it. Not many people know this, but J-Mac is an ex-FBI interrogator, one of the best in the business. You weren't going to hide the truth from him, so you made a good decision just spitting it out right there, right then and there. Now, I know it's hard to believe. A cheater in the House of Caravan community? Who would have so little respect for the universe as a whole as to do something like that? I've been asking myself the same question all day since J-Mac told me. It's sickening, really. Now, what this means is I'm no longer third place in House of Caravan speedrunning history. I'm second. Unfortunately, Low Flying Goat's record run is still standing. Upon very close inspection, it's a real run. There's no foul play there, unfortunately. None that we could detect. Now, to all the mainstream media outlets watching this video, CNN, Daily Mail, The Sun, Independent, all of you, I know you're watching. There's no way you'd pass up on a story this big, so I just want you to know right now, we're not all like this. We don't promote cheating in any shape or form. We're vehemently against it. And please don't use us as a scapegoat the next time tragedy strikes America. Let's say a milkman goes on a rampage and he just so happened to watch some House of Caravan speedrunning. Don't blame us. It's not our fault. So, I mean, that's it, really. And I'm sorry if this ruined a lot of your days. I know it's going to be hard to have a good day now after learning that there was a cheater in this community, but the truth had to come out. This is much bigger than the Billy Mitchell case. Much, much bigger. So, yeah, that's it. So yeah, I don't know why exactly, but there's something extremely enjoyable about watching a Twitch streamer get busted for cheating in a competition live. It's just straight dopamine right to the soul. And today, Christmas came early. We had 2 instances of cheating in tournaments back to back within 24 hours. I'll show you those clips in a moment, but I'd like to show you a classic, one that I always revisit at least once a year. This is the Clara incident. Now before showing the clips, I'll go ahead and give you just a little bit of background because I know me saying the Clara incident just sounds like some kind of SCP thing, like some kind of fucking paranormal report. For those that haven't been on Twitch for a long time, they might not remember this, but there was a moderately popular Twitch streamer in the Counter-Strike category who was outed for cheating when she left her cheats on during a stream. And what happened next is legendary. This is actually a historic piece of Twitch lore.
Stop shooting me! You motherfucker! Ah, what? They're mid. Mid. And all mid.
I'm going back to B. I'm going back to B.
So if your eyes were open, you may have noticed that she enabled some wall hacks, so she was able to see the enemies and their health through the walls, information you don't typically have access to in Counter-Strike. Even if you've never played the game before, you might find it a bit fishy that she can see the outline of them like she's goddamn Superman here with the X-ray vision. Now I'm gonna sound like your grandpa for a second, but when people used to cheat in games, it would be very obvious because you would see this. You would see all of this shit. Where, you know, like in Halo, back in the day, if you were cheating in Halo, if you ever showed your screen, it'd be immediately obvious that you were cheating. But there are streamers who get away with cheating, aimbots, walling, and all of that while streaming, so I don't exactly know how it usually goes, but this is just one of those rare instances where the person cheating was so blatantly obvious and just threw caution to the wind. Just let it all fucking hang out there and just had the fucking wall hacks on full display by accident.
Hello, welcome to the Dumpling Empire. Oh shit, I just saw one. Construction, watch out, purple. Oh shit, I'm scared. retarded, dude. Jumpman, thank you very much, though. Welcome to the Dumping Empire. My name is Miss Q Gemini. Welcome. We're trying to not be a noob.
Oh my god!
This is such a common phenomenon that blows my mind. Why would you cheat in a game that you are absolutely horrible at? Most of the people that cheat in Warzone, Apex, Counter-Strike in this example, all gargle the stinkiest butthole. Why choose that game to be the one that you cheat at? Let's look at physical sports. I know sports ball cringe, whatever, but let's just take a look at that. The people that are cheating in like baseball, basketball, all of that are your top level athletes that are taking performance enhancers sometimes in order to squeak out a little bit of edge over the competition, but they on their own right are already high caliber professional level players that are cheating. But in gaming, it's people that literally like type with one finger on each key and have a hard time moving their mouse while also holding W. Why bother cheating at a game that you're trash at? What's the point? I would expect most of the cheaters in games to also be some of the best players, and yeah, in a couple instances that has been the case, but the vast majority of the time, the aimbotters in like Apex are actual lobotomy patients that just use their mom's credit card to download some cheats to get a couple of wins before being banned. I don't understand the point at all. It's such a minor inconvenience to players that are good at the game because they can just re-queue right away, and it's just a waste of money, and it doesn't make any sense because it's not getting you anywhere either if you're already shit at the game to start. It blows my mind. Like, I don't understand why Miss Q Gemini here would cheat in Counter-Strike when she's bad at the game already. There's just nothing to be gained from it.
Yo, you guys, do you guys ever get that, that weird glitch in CSGO where it shows your rank, it shows everyone's rank? Because my game, I played the other day with Rock, and he got that, and now I have it. I don't know why. It's weird.
Nothing banana.
Wait, what the fuck? Clara! Hold on, Clara, give me 1 second. Clara. Let me just message this girl. Give me 1 second. Why the fuck is this on my computer right now?
Damn you, Clara! The boogeyman of Counter-Strike cheating strikes again, framing an innocent streamer for a crime she didn't commit. This is iconic. So her first attempt was in vain. She first tried to frame it as a weird glitch. Like, hey, you guys ever have that glitch where you just get wall hacks for some reason? It's super weird. Then she kind of changes that a little bit to make it sound like a virus. Yeah, I was playing with a guy who had this happen to him, and now I guess I have it happen to me. It's weird. She made it was like a fucking plague or something sweeping through Counter-Strike. She was making it sound like COVID had just hit and gave everyone wall hacks across the entire game. And then eventually she realized that's probably not going to get her anywhere. So she yells like, what is this? Just got jump scared by Goatsy or something. She's like, oh my god, turns out there's hacks on my computer. Clara? You harpy? You old battle axe? You put hacks on my computer, didn't you? Oh my god, Clara, I can't believe you would do this. Clara!
I need to text my friend Clara right now. She was at my house earlier today. What the actual fuck? Yo, Rock, do you remember when fucking Clara got the fucking vac ban? I'm gonna kill this girl. I'm literally gonna kill her. She promised me she didn't use it on my PC. I'm fucking done. She was here today and I was watching her. Why the fuck? Clara, out of all people, this is what happens when you let people use your PC. Okay. I'm actually just gonna uninstall this game because fuck that shit. I'm not getting a back ban because of this girl. That's actually retarded.
She ended up getting more than just a VAC ban. She was banned on Twitch forever. She tried to make an alt account, and that also got banned because one of the rules on Twitch is you can't broadcast yourself cheating. Like, that's just, it doesn't fly, usually. So, that was the conclusion, and what a beautiful speech at the end. And Clara's name still lives in infamy to this day. Whenever someone's busted in a tournament cheating, you'll typically see the chat start spamming Clara, or Clara strikes again, shit like that. It really was just such a remarkable disaster. But now let's go ahead and move on to the most recent events of cheating caught in 4K on Twitch. First one happened in a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and this one really hurt me. This one broke my heart, because I'm a big Master Duel fan, and it was really upsetting. I wanted to puke seeing a man disrespect the sanctity of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I'll go ahead and show you all 3 clips. It is the player on the left in the clips, so keep your eyes peeled and see if you can catch it in real time. It's not exactly smooth or anything, it's pretty brazen. It would have been less obvious if he just picked up the card that he was swapping into his hand and slapped his opponent in the face with it. Like, he wasn't exactly being secretive about his cheating, and as a result, he's been banned from future events. Let's go ahead and take a peek. Did you catch it? Let me slow it down for you. I'll be the little fucking forensics investigator at the CSI laboratory. Really pay close attention to the bottom card on the player on the left's deck. So he poops out a little playful effect veiler from his deck into his hand. That bottom card that he popped into his hand was called Effect Veiler. It's extremely strong, and if played correctly can just outright win you a game sometimes. And when he drops it from his deck to his hand, he picks up a card he didn't need from his hand and puts it in his deck, so that way he has the correct number of cards in his hand. He was able to do this because I don't know what effect was resolving, but he was searching in his deck for, I think it was Darkness Metal Dragon, and while searching for that card, he saw the Effect Veiler, moved it to the bottom, dropped it into his hand, which is cheating, obviously. And it's not the only time he tried cheating in this match. Let me show you a couple of his fake shuffles here. In that clip, he moved a card that was unplayable for his opponent from the bottom of his deck to the top of the deck and then only shuffled underneath that top card without ever touching it. Which, of course, is cheating again because he knew what card was on top of his opponent's deck and he knew it was a card that wouldn't be used against him. This is another fake shuffle, but this time he's shuffling his own deck, and you'll see that he saw his bottom card was strong and useful in his situation, so he took it from the bottom, put it on top of his deck, and then shuffled everything underneath it. So yeah, 3 separate instances of this douchebag cheating on live stream. You have to be extremely stupid to cheat on a live Twitch stream. On Twitch of all places where people are hyper-analytical of everything. People will spend hours reviewing every single frame of a stream if they so much as smelt something fishy. If their stream buffers, they'll go back to the VOD and sit there for hours just checking to make sure something fishy didn't happen during the buffering section. It was so unbelievably bold to try this on stream. And he wasn't good at it either. I've watched a lot of like Magic the Gathering cheaters and sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh cheaters, and they're usually smooth. Like if you're not paying attention, you won't even know something wrong happened. This was not the case here. Anyone could see what this guy was doing because he was so slow with everything. Like when he took that card from the bottom of his deck and put it on top, he sat there looking at it for a second and then slowly with 2 fingers picked it up and put it up there as if he was going through molasses in slow motion. So he was a terrible cheater to begin with too. So of course he was going to be caught. It is fucking baffling that he'd even try it like this. But yeah, anyway, from what I understand, he's been banned from every tournament ever now. I don't know much about this player. I don't know if he was a top player, but he completely ruined any chance he had of making any career out of the TCG for Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, this made me think of something. Now, I play Master Duel, which is the online Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play the TCG, but I have to wonder how common cheating actually is, because it's moving really fast, and you have a lot of things on your mind, a lot of moving parts to Yu-Gi-Oh! In particular. I wonder how often someone is sneaking cards to the top of the deck or bottom of the deck or whatever the case, and then the people just never find out about it. The only reason this guy was busted is because Twitch chat caught him and made the tournament officials aware of it, but the actual player he was against, his opponent, never knew he was cheating. So most of the games aren't broadcast. They're not streamed. So I really do wonder how many are cheating. Just a little food for thought, I suppose. Put the fear of God in you.
I can kill that person. No, he's by the multi-windows. They're both there.
I've seen a lot of cheaters get busted on Twitch, but this guy is by far the stupidest among all of them. Now this, to be fair, wasn't on stream. He was accused of cheating, as I understand it, and in order to prove his innocence, he set up a camera to record him and his screen during a 2v2 tournament in Call of Duty to prove that he wasn't cheating. And then during this recording to prove that he's innocent, he was cheating. The quality's dog shit, which I think was on purpose. I think he was trying to make the quality as low as possible, as much pixelation, like negative 140p, to make it really hard to see that he was cheating. But it's terrible quality, and you can still see the yellow outline of people through walls. He's using wall hacks in a 2v2 tournament while recording it himself to prove that he isn't a cheater. And as a result of this, he got his entire team disqualified from the remainder of the season. So he not only got permanently fucked, he also took his whole team down with him. It is so unbelievably stupid, I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. Like, he couldn't just for one game turn off the cheats. The one game that he himself was recording, he left them on. That is the level of intelligence most cheaters are operating at. And they're all so bad at the game. You'll see in the clip, he gets like one kill with the walls and then immediately dies. He is wall hacking and still losing. And they also lost the whole tournament, by the way, with him cheating. Crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to show these because I always find it so interesting when cheaters get busted on streams and shit like that. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. 11 months ago, the internet was set ablaze by an explosive scandal that gripped us all by the throat and wouldn't let go. A cheating scandal that changed butt plugs forever. I'm talking, of course, about Hans Niemann vs. Magnus Carlsen chess cheating allegations. I'll go ahead and bring you up to speed with a brief lore recap in case you forgot. Hans Niemann is a very strong chess player, and he played against one of the best of all time, Magnus Carlsen, in a tournament. And Hans Niemann shocked the chess world when he beat Magnus. But no one was more shocked than Magnus, and he made some insinuations that there may have been foul play afoot during their match. He outright refused to play against Hans going forward, and it got real messy real quick. We started playing in the pig pen and things were getting dirty. This led to a huge avalanche effect where everyone was coming out to speculate on what the fuck was going on. And not just smooth-brained goober idiots like myself, but some of the most well-respected players in the entire world, grandmasters, came forward to offer their perspective on this. And Hans Niemann did have a past of cheating in online chess, but never in person. And cheating in an in-person over-the-board chess event is a very hard thing to prove. Eventually, the community started to come up with their own theories on how could he have cheated if he did. And naturally, the only sane explanation that makes sense, the only logical conclusion to draw, is that Hans Niemann must have cheated by having a vibrating butt plug lodged deep inside of his asshole that would vibrate for the correct moves to play against Magnus in this match. Thus spawned the butt plug cheating scandal that took the world by storm. It's important to note that that whole theory was only half serious. Like, I don't know how many people are diehard butt plug believers in this case, but it is like a possibility. The tech was even proven by some of the brightest minds in America. We damn near revived Oppenheimer to build a functioning chess bot butt plug. We had a lot of people on YouTube in particular come forward and make working prototype chess bot butt plugs that you could plug into your colon to help you be better at chess, just to prove that, you know, we as a species can make this. We have the technology. But the whole belief that this was a real thing wasn't the most grounded in reality. Like, it wasn't super serious, but it was fun. And that's why everyone latched onto it. But it really wasn't fun for Hans Niemann, whom his entire career was starting to crumble around him because of this reputation that he may have cheated. There's a lot of moving parts under the hood of this vehicle, and I'm not a fucking mechanic, so a lot of things that started happening behind the scenes I am unaware of. Most people are. There's only a handful of people that really know all of the particulars that started to go on behind the scenes, but what we do know is Chess.com launched an investigation of their own against Niemann to investigate the cheating allegations. They wanted to see if there was any evidence that Hans Niemann may have cheated against Magnus. Fast forward, investigation concludes, Chess.com finds no hard proof that Hans Niemann ever cheated in over-the-board chess, but they do find more evidence that Hans Niemann may have cheated in more online chess than he had initially led people to believe. Eventually, another person gets involved. His name is Hikaru. He's the biggest chess streamer and one of the best players in the world. Hikaru gets involved in this directly by making some hard claims during this whole situation, which only further damages Hans. So eventually, Hans Niemann launches a lawsuit against everyone. Chess.com, Magnus Carlsen, and Hikaru. It's a $100 million defamation lawsuit. And that brings us to today. That lawsuit has concluded. It has all been settled now, and sports fans, let me be the first to tell you, it's a bit of a surprising ending to this one, all things considered. Chess.com put out a statement saying that all the sides here have been working together to negotiate in good faith to resolve everything without further litigation, and they're happy to share that they've finally made it there. They're finally all coming together, holding hands and saying, you know what, group hug in the shower, no need for any more hostility. Which is not the ending I was expecting to the Game of Thrones here. So, Chess.com released a statement saying, we're pleased to report that we've reached an agreement with Hans Niemann to put our differences behind us and move forward together without further litigation. At this time, Hans has been fully reinstated by Chess.com, and we look forward to his participation in our events. We'd also like to reaffirm that we stand by the findings in our October 2022 public report regarding Hans, including that we found no determinative evidence that he has cheated in any in-person games. We all love chess and appreciate all of the passionate fans and community members who allowed us to do what we do. I really thought this was going to be a much longer case that wouldn't have a happy ending here. I was expecting this to get extremely cutthroat. I thought we were going to be seeing some kind of biblical court smackdown where Hans Niemann comes in with some crazy evidence that everyone but him is a cheater. He like fucking scholars mates the entire chess community. Like, I was really expecting this to not have a happy resolution, but I'm pleasantly surprised to see that it does. I gotta be honest with all of you here, though, sports fans. Just like the man in the yellow hat, my George is getting a bit curious as to what this agreement they reached could have possibly looked like. It had to be financial. Like, if you checked Hans Niemann's ass right now, you wouldn't find a butt plug, you'd find a lot of money. Like, this had to be some kind of financial agreement they reached because Hans Niemann's career took a huge hit from all of this. In the chess world, the biggest, most prestigious tournaments with the best players in the world are invitation only. And take a guess who wasn't getting invited to these events. That's right, the bad boy of the bong cloud, Hans Niemann. So his career kind of did nosedive from all of this because he was labeled a potential cheater, so he hasn't been able to play against the best in the world anymore. So I feel like the only way that he would have had an agreement that was satisfactory is if somehow they paid him a lot of money to be okay with it, to not drag this out any longer. That's just my guess. But that could be as ludicrous as the butt plug theory in the first place. I don't know. Maybe Hans Niemann just wanted like a very sincere apology from everyone involved and he got it. That's very possible. I have no idea. But it is important to note his career really did reach a complete standstill from all of this. Now, one thing everyone has said, and I agree with, is that this never would have reached this point or even probably happened in the first place if Hans Niemann didn't have a history of cheating in online chess when he was younger. That is a very crucial component to why this spiraled out of control the way it did. And obviously it's a huge factor in why people were taking sides so strongly. One's a cheater, always a cheater. No, but wait, there's no proof of him ever cheating in over-the-board chess. We can't just go off of his past when he was a younger kid. Like, come on. So it led to a lot of messiness in the entire community. This whole thing was very unfortunate for literally everybody involved. But I do want to go ahead and look at both Magnus Carlsen's statement and Hans Niemann's statement. Magnus Carlsen said, I acknowledge and understand Chess.com's report, including its statement that there is no determinative evidence that Niemann cheated in his game against me at the Sinquefield Cup. I am willing to play Niemann in future events should we be paired together. Hans Niemann said, I am pleased that my lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com has been resolved in a mutually acceptable manner and that I am returning to Chess.com. I look forward to competing against Magnus in chess rather than in court and am grateful to my attorneys at Ovid and Ovid for believing in me and helping me resolve this case. So it seems like everything going forward will be business as usual. Magnus Carlsen will no longer just throw if he plays against Hans, and the two will go back to playing very high-level chess. It remains to be seen if Hans Niemann will now start to get invited to more of the bigger chess events that he's been missing out on. Chess.com seems to say that he's welcome to be at their events now, so he can start participating again at the highest level. So we're just going to have to wait and see how all of that unfolds. Hans Niemann did, however, release another video of his own here, where he gets like right up in the camera like the goddamn Joker in The Dark Knight here, saying, "Hey, I'm fucking back, baby."
Hello, Chess Worlds. Did you miss me? There will be a day when I will be the best chess player in the world, and I think it's time to let my chess speak for itself.
It's like a fucking WWE intro out here. So he does also say in that video that he still believes the chess.com reports are defamatory and denies some of the allegations from it, but overall is still pleased that the whole situation is behind them now, so that way he can continue to move forward and play at the highest level. So that's where this whole cheating scandal finishes, I guess. 11 months in the making, and overall a pretty happy ending for most people involved in this case, it seems. So yeah, just wanted to give you the definitive update on it with the finale, and that's about it. See ya.